Hey everybody, it's Matt, Wrestling with Whiskey, back again. Today we have a small selection from Chicken Cock Whiskey. Yep, if you're on the internet and under 22, laugh now. Okay, now that we've got that done, Chicken Cock has been around a while, and if you read the press releases and everything, they talk about how the brand of Chicken Cock Whiskey goes back so long, and it's so many years older than the oldest distillery and the older, everybody tries to be the oldest and tells you how much history their brand has. But most of these brands are run by brand new people who have nothing to do with the old brand. They just purchased a name from a different company or whoever owned it last, and now they're doing their own thing. There are some exceptions, but often that's what it is. And I think that's fine, because there's a lot of cool old brand names, and just tell us that, though. Tell us that, hey, this is an old brand that we're bringing back to life, and here's what we're doing now. We're carving our own path. And many do, but I think there's a lot of emphasis on the oldest and the oldest and the oldest and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read that as much. I just want to hear about what you're doing now. So let's see what they're doing now. We have a bourbon and a rye. The bourbon has been on the market. The rye is new to the market. So I'm interested to try this just because I haven't had a chance to yet. And rye is such a fast-growing category right now. It's always good to explore all the options coming out in there. But let's start with my familiar area, and that's bourbon. And let's try the Chicken Cock Bourbon Whiskey. Now, this is non-age stated. The mash bill is not disclosed. I'm not sure if this is a sourced product or if this is theirs. I'm not sure if they have that laid out there yet. I'm sure a little bit more research could figure that out, but these distilleries are very low-key on a lot of that. But we know it is distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky. So whether it's theirs or whether it's sourced from somewhere in Kentucky, we know that. Non-age stated, no mash bill, but we know the proof is 90 proof. Strong, almost vanilla, buttery kind of nose. And I don't get butter a lot when I'm nosing whiskey, so this does not remind me of any particular Kentucky distillery. So it could be their own. Vanilla, almost that salty, almost like popcorn. And a little bit of ethanol on the nose, not much though. But yeah, I just get butter and vanilla is screaming through, and corn. Some corn in there too. Like I said, almost like popcorny. Let's taste it. Nice little bit of spice. Mouthfeel leaves a little bit to be desired. Finish is pretty short. I feel like this whiskey might be a little bit on the younger side for anywhere from 3 to 6 years. There's not a bunch of bite on it, so it doesn't have that 2-3 year bite. So maybe more like 4 to 6. It just doesn't feel as mature as others. Nice notes of corn, vanilla, a little bit of pepper in there. The butter is more on the nose than it is on the palate. Not, like I said, mouth feels like medium. Not too much to chew on, but it's not watery either. Very nice middle of the road. Not kicking me out of my seat, but it's not disappointing at all. Let's move on to the rye, because the rye is the new release. This is the exciting new release from Chicken Cock Whiskey. Chicken Cock Rye, even though my label says Kentucky Straight Rye Bourbon Whiskey. I believe that's a misprint. But we do, the one thing, this is also 90 proof. It is non-age stated, but we do know that it is a 95% rye. So we know it's a high rye, which is cool, because a lot of the ryes coming out of Kentucky are generally pretty low. They're right at that 51% threshold, which makes them just barely a rye, and then it's sweetened with corn and barley and everything. The more rye, to me, is the more of a true rye, and I think works better if you're a fan of that. And you can tell on the nose, right there it is. There's herbal tea, pepper, almost like cardamom, kind of flowery spices like that. Light, very, very light cinnamon, earthy notes. Not too much deep vanilla or sugar there or anything. This is probably a younger rye. This has got to be 2-3 years. Because it's that very bright rye. Again, tons of herbal notes on the palate as well. Finish again is really light on this. Doesn't stay with you too long. Actually, the pepper spice on this is not very high. It's not a lot of Kentucky Hug or Tingle or anything like that. It's pretty. I hate saying the word smooth because I hate smooth whiskey. Some people like it. I like flavor. I like something making me go, huh, as opposed to just washing back. Yeah, it's very tame at 90 proof, if uninteresting. The flavors are there though. Typical rye, it's got to be on the younger side, I would have to imagine. There's not a lot of wood notes. It's very floral. It's got a little bit of that youth. Not so much bite, but just that youth tinge of, we're not quite there yet. But I love that it's a high rye mash bill coming out of Kentucky. I think it can only go up from here. It's an enjoyable rye, albeit doesn't quite knock my socks off. I would give this one, I'd like to taste this at 4, 5, 6 years. I said in my last video that I think 6 years is a great place for rye. Maybe up the proof a little bit. Let's see what it's at like at 100 proof. This could go good in a cocktail. But I would like a little bit more pepper spice if I was going to mix it with something because I want it to stand out. That's what I like with my whiskey with a cocktail. But thank you to Chicken Cock Whiskey for supplying us with the samples here today. Letting us taste what you guys got going on here. I think 2 solid pours that I think will only get better with time, with age. Perhaps a little more proof. That's just a selfish man asking. But check them out, look into them, see what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching. Always be looking for new brands, not always old brands resurrected. Find out for yourself. Do your research. And always, always, always be wrestling with whiskey.